Welcome to The Interest. I'm Ryan Kingsley. Happy Monday. Today, Bill Bodnar shares his hot take on last week's troubling economic data in Master the Markets. Also on tap, our own Vincent, Valvo, and Andrew Berman lace up the gloves for cage match. Who will land the knockout punch this time? But first, from the rubble of 2023 emerged a league of extraordinary mortgage professionals stronger than ever. This year's leading loan originators achieved a minimum of $50 million in loan production volume, or 50 loans by unit, and are featured on the pages of National Mortgage Professional's April issue. Fairway Mortgage branch sales manager Austin Smith is one of them. Here's his story.
We were just very happy to just make it through and to have the opportunities that we did and to be able to capitalize on them as best as we could. And we still know that our consumers love us. So,
Smith's loan volume in 2023 surpassed $104.3 million, or a total of 382 units. The dynamic team he leads from Fairway's Greenwood, Indiana office was integral to his success.
It doesn't matter if you have one customer per month or 100 customers per month. Your job is to provide them the best lending experience they've ever had.
It's no secret that many mortgage companies were unable to sustain their pandemic-era staffing levels or loan volume in 2023's bare-bones market, leaving the industry fractured. Smith's team even lost a few of its own members.
As long as the current trends continue, there will be less and less people still doing this on a day-to-day as we go. So those attrition numbers are real, and we're going to do the best we can with what we're given.
Read more about Austin Smith and the other leading LOs at nationalmortgageprofessional.com. For The Interest, I'm Ryan Kingsley.
We all dream of owning a home, but for too long, if you didn't fit the mold, you were stuck. Stuck because the system worked for everyone except you. We've changed that. Angel AI uses advanced AI technology to give a 100% trusted solution and fast answers for worry-free financing, allowing you to achieve fair and equal access to lending. Angel AI, AI you can bank on.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to our Master the Market segment. So last week was something, right? We had that GDP come out, which was backward looking, right? It was for the first quarter, but it started giving us whiffs of what they call stagflation, where we have a decelerating economy along with stubbornly high prices, inflation. So that brings us into this week. And this week's another big one, right? We have on Wednesday the Fed meeting, right? No chance of any kind of Fed action, but what they say about the economy now at that bad print and inflation will be very interesting. We also have the Treasury Department doing a refunding on Wednesday if they need more bonds. That could send a ripple in the markets. And if that were not enough, on Friday we have the jobs report, and that's always a big market mover because it's a big piece of the Fed's dual mandates. So listen, it's going to be a real wild week. Pay attention to key levels. Over here at Mortgage Market Guide, we're watching 460 on a 10-year note as a floor of support and 470 as a ceiling. Hope this finds you well. Have a great week. Bye for now.
All right, so Vince, recently we covered a story with Hunter Brook Media going after United Wholesale. Yeah. So what are your thoughts about this? What I believe is weaponizing journalism.
Well, it's a very interesting situation. For those who haven't been keeping up on this, Hunter Brook is a hedge fund. And they decided they were going to try something a little bit different. And what they're going to do is they created a division called Hunter Brook Media, which was going to write stories using journalists, good journalists, a lot of national journalists from well-respected publications. And they were going to go out and do these big in-depth pieces, but basically like an analyst would do looking at a stock. Yeah. Then, before Hunter Brook Media puts the story out, Hunter Brook, the hedge fund, starts trading the stock.
Yeah, they take a short position, they take a long position.
Right, they use it to their advantage.
Yeah,
and I I don't like any of that.
First off, like the allegations that was made in the story, what do you feel about that? Do you think it has merit? Do you think actually let's go to the core of
really fast. So really fast. They alleged, hey, UWM. First, they claim UWM isn't a well-managed company. I would absolutely disagree with that. Then they claim that UWM's all-in ultimatum basically made it so that brokers did not perform their duties as people who should be looking across the spectrum for the best opportunity for
independent.
As independent brokers, right? And therefore, this was sort of and these aren't the legal terms, but sort of collusion on the parts of both in order to defraud the public. I really don't buy a lot of that. I think the only thing in there that to me smacks that has some validity is that the brokers themselves probably should not be putting out to people that they are fully independent and they will look across the spectrum for everyone if they're putting 90% of their business with one vendor. Okay. But we've had our conversation on that. That's not the topic of today's.
Yeah, you claimed victory in that one.
I did have
been wrong, even though actually, listen, broker decides actually maybe on where they're going to put their business. But yes, let's put that aside.
If 90% of the time it's 90% in one spot, that's not necessarily broker. That's distributed retail. That's what that is. But no, we're going to put that aside.
But okay.
I'm just saying, if in this case, if someone is going to have an allegation, a suit against them, to say, is that right? It's the brokers, not the company that said, why don't you use our stuff? I don't think that's where this should land. And it'll be interesting to see.
So you're saying actually that the brokers should be suing UWM, or that Hunter?
Saying that if there was an action here, the people who so what happens in this scenario that you've talked about,
going after
Hunter Brook creates a situation where they want to affect the stock of UWM because UWM is the big player.
Yeah.
Right. And so they have a media company that produces this report, which basically says nothing more than has been in any other reports we've been reporting, all the elements of it throughout the time when as have our competitors. This is nothing in there was news that I could see. Not a single thing in there was news. And it was very spurious, but it had the effect of getting a lot of publicity, which caused the stock
mainstream media.
Right. And then the next day, national of high profile national law firm files a class action lawsuit, which also has the effect of affecting the stock price. I think all of that seems very dubious to me.
Yeah.
But if you give it any credence whatsoever, it seems to me that if there's going to be a lawsuit filed or an investigation over where did this fall apart, and I'm not saying that an allegation is true. It's an allegation. If there's going to be one, it should be where the consumers met the fiduciaries that they were dealing with, which are the brokers. It's the consumer to broker. It's the consumer. They didn't sue the brokers. They sued. Sued the
Hunter Brook didn't, but
Hunter Brook didn't.
Law firms have actually started to.
Other ones have started.
They're trying to hunt around for it.
Well, it's causing this whole thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that suit should be filed against brokers. I'm just saying if you were going to, that seems like that would be the logical nexus for it. This whole thing stinks to me.
You believe this is weaponizing journalism for profit, and it does not sit well with you.
It does not sit well with me.
Well, I agree with you. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we could have saved everyone 5 minutes by just saying, I agree, that was weaponizing journalism. Okay.
But I'll only put this part out because I do think it's important, which is we often have criticized UWM for this ultimatum that they put out, which I do not think is right for the industry as a whole. Yeah. But what this approach has come and this attack at them, I think it's wrong. I actually think UWM is going to clean their clock on the lawsuit on this thing here. But that may not matter to Hunter Brook because they'll already have had all the stock trades in by the time any of this gets through the court system.
Yeah. Not a financial advisor. Make sure you talk to your financial advisor before you make any trade based on Vince, who's shorts the housing, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Once again, I'm completely right.
Wait, no, you're not right. That doesn't. No. That's.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.